Hey, builders, before we begin, I have a quick question for you. Are we connected on social media? The reason I'm asking is because as much as I love giving you the podcast episode every single week, I'd love to take our relationship deeper. So if we're not connected on social media, let's connect. I'm on LinkedIn at Robyn_MindSteps. I'm on Twitter at Robyn_MindSteps. I'm on Facebook at Robyn Jackson. Please, let's connect so we can keep the conversation going. Now, on with the show. You're listening to the School Leadership Reimagined podcast, episode 216. How do builders like us make a dramatic difference in the lives of our students in spite of all the obstacles we face? How do you keep your vision for your school from being held hostage by resistant teachers, uncooperative parents, ridiculous district policies, or a lack of time, money, or resources? If you're facing those challenges right now, here is where you'll find the answers, strategies, and actionable tips you need to overcome any obstacle you face. You don't have to wait to make a difference in the lives of the people you serve. You can turn your school into a success story right now with the people and resources you already have. Let's get started. Hey builders, welcome to another episode of the School Leadership Reimagined podcast. I'm your host, Robyn Jackson, and today we are continuing our Summer of Success series with a new success secret. And this week's success secret is choose your hard. Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, but before I do, I want you to know that I've been working on something really incredible for you. I've been asking questions inside of the School Leadership Reimagined Facebook group. I've been talking to people that I've met on the road this summer as I've been attending and keynoting at various conferences. I've got something really cool for you, and I'm going to be making an announcement about it next Monday, July 17th. And so if you are not a member of the School Leadership Reimagined, if you're not on in the Facebook group or you're not on our email list, you need to do that. So all you need to do is go to schoolleadershipreimagined.com and sign up for our email list so that you can get the details about this big announcement and this thing that I have for you. And I'm trying to stop myself from sharing it. So I'm going to shut up about it now, but just know I've got a big announcement coming next week, next Monday, and it's going to be good. That's all I'll say. All right. So let's talk about this idea of choose your hard, because everybody works hard. If you are a boss, you are working hard. Now, you're working hard at the wrong things, but you're working hard. As a boss, you're working hard at trying to control everything. As a boss, you're working hard at trying to make sure that everybody does what you say. As a boss, you're working really hard at chasing and checking and correcting people all the time. You're working hard. You're running yourself ragged. And at the end of the day, you don't really have anything to show for it except for exhaustion and a growing sense of resentment because everybody feels lazy. Everybody's not doing their job. Everybody, has to have constant supervision in order to get stuff done. That's how you feel. And so at the end of the day, you're working really hard and you gain frustration from it. Now, as a leader, you're also working really hard. As a leader, you're working hard, cajoling and convincing people to move forward. As a leader, you're working hard at listening to people and trying to persuade them to take the extra step. As a leader, you're working really hard trying to find solutions and solving every problem that comes your way. And so you never have time to do the work you really want to do because you're constantly being interrupted in your office. You're constantly looking for best practices. You're constantly trying some new initiatives and hoping and praying that maybe this time it's actually going to work. You work really hard and you're frustrated because while you may see some results, they're not as big as the effort it took to get there. You might be seeing some results, but you are always feeling just slightly disappointed because you're not able to move as quickly as you want. There's always somebody dragging their feet. You're working really hard. And you feel like you could go further, but because you have to wait for everybody else to get on board, you feel stalled. So you've got another kind of hard. Now, a lot of times when I talk about buildership, I talk about how much easier it is. But it doesn't mean that you're not working hard as a builder. The difference is, as a builder, you're working hard on the right things. It is not easy to sit down and craft a teacher dashboard and to sit down every single week and go through your teacher dashboard and look for ways to help every teacher grow every single week. You're going to get distracted. You're not going to want to do it sometimes. You will put it off, and it's really hard to stay focused. But when you do that, every single week you see growth. Every single week you see progress. Every single week you see momentum. It's hard to sit down and do an accountability architecture where you take a good hard look at all of the systems in your school and you find ways to make those systems work better. That's hard work up front, but you reap the benefits in the back end because the better your systems are, the less time and energy you're spending working on that. So you can spend more time and energy working on pursuing your vision, working on doing the work that only you can do. It's hard to let go of some of the control that you've enjoyed in the past. Well, I said enjoyed, but I don't know that you really enjoy the control because control keeps you trapped. It's hard to let that go and to get your team members doing more of the heavy lifting. It's hard up front. But the moment you do that, you free yourself up to do the work only you can do, but you also create a sustainable organization that is going to continue to grow long after you leave. You leave a legacy, and it's not all on you. Everybody is working together. It's hard to get your staff aligned. The work that goes into getting your staff aligned is hard. But once you do that work, you reap the benefits because now everybody's on board. Everybody is moving in the same direction, and you can get farther faster because you're not dragging people or convincing people. People are moving ahead even when you're not there. People are pursuing the right work and doing the right work the right way, even when you're not looking. So what builders have learned to do is they don't come to buildership because it's easier. They come to buildership because they've chosen the right hard. Yeah, you could do this stuff and be a boss and work hard and stay late nights and weekends, or you could be a leader staying nights and weekends, finishing stuff up because you didn't have time to do it during the day because you felt like you had to be visible and you could do all of that. And that is hard, but you don't get anything from it. When you're a builder, you're working hard at the right things because you know that when you invest in the right things right now, you reap the benefits later on. And yes, it will feel hard at first. It's so hard to come up with your 100% vision because you got to unlearn everything you've been taught about what a vision should be in order to give yourself the freedom to do it. But the moment you get that vision, you feel such a relief. You feel the weight drop off your shoulders because that aligns with what you've always believed anyway. And now you have permission to believe it and you have the tools to pursue it. And it doesn't feel like it's impossible anymore. It feels so possible. You have a pathway forward now. So choosing the hard of 100% vision results in this new passion, this new sense of purpose, this greater feeling of impact versus choosing another 5% gain. You have to work just as hard to gain 5% as you do to pursue 100%. Same amount of hard, but totally different kind of hard. You know, I heard somebody say something recently that I've been thinking about, right? And I don't know yet how I feel about it. I probably shouldn't be sharing it with you until I have it figured out, except for, you know, maybe you can help me start thinking this through a little bit and share some of your comments in the School Leadership Reimagined Facebook group. But it's this idea that there's working hard and there's hard work, and they're different. Here's what I think it means right now. There are a lot of people working hard at stuff that isn't hard, right? So putting a room schedule isn't hard work. It's just tedious. It takes a lot of time. Trying to find a way to juggle 25 different new initiatives next year, it's not hard work. I mean, it doesn't require a lot of energy and effort. It just takes time and it's tedious. There are a lot of people who are working hard, but because they're working hard at the wrong things, they're not doing the hard work that it takes to achieve 100%. And so I want you to ask yourself the question, am I working hard at stuff that doesn't matter? And if the answer is yes, then I'm going to invite you to shift from working hard to doing the hard work that does matter. You see, every time you do the hard stuff as a builder, yes, it's hard. But when you finish, the reward is great. And that's the difference. Working hard doesn't always give you a great reward. You're done, you've accomplished something, but what have you really accomplished? But when you choose to do the hard work, the right hard work, then at the end of that, you have something you didn't have before. You've gone further than you would have gone otherwise. You've accomplished something. And I think that's the difference. Working hard, you just finish. Doing the hard work, you actually accomplish something. You know, I work with a lot of builders inside of Buildership University. And when people first come into BU and, you know, we're just getting to know each other, a lot of people are really, really stressed. You know, like when we have office hours and they're live and I'm talking to people every single week and working with people directly and personally. And you can just see the stress because they're like, I have to do this, I have to do that. And they want to kind of, yes, they believe in buildership and yes, they want to be builders, but they're still trying to also satisfy the leadership requirements of their district. And so they're kind of straddling being a leader and a builder. And you could see it in their faces. They're just stressed. And we have to go through with a lot of people at the beginning of their buildership journey, we have to help them shed the idea that you have to work hard, that if you're not working hard, you're not doing your job. And the more that they let that go, and the more that they embrace the difference between working hard and doing the hard, right work, the more you can just see the stress melt off of them. I've thought about this a lot because I've seen it enough now that it is a pattern, and I love it. It was one of my favorite things, right? When you see people start to show up and instead of the furrowed brow, they're smiling, right? They're still working, right? They're not on vacation. And some of the work they're doing is really hard. But the stress that comes from working hard isn't there when you're doing the right hard work. Instead, you feel excited. You feel energized. You feel like, oh my goodness, this is why I became an educator. This is what matters. So if you are feeling stressed right now, like summer, maybe you took some time off, maybe now, you're back at it and you still feel like you have this pile of to-dos, I want you to ask yourself, am I working hard or am I doing the right hard work? And here's how you can tell the difference. If you're working hard, it feels tedious. If you're working hard, it's not, you look at the working like, it's not difficult. It's not making me think. It's not stretching my brain. It's just a lot of it. And I just don't have time to get through it. If you're working hard, you will be, you can't wait till you get done. And you're like, I just need to knock this out and just get this out the way so that I can get on with my life. If you feel that way about your work right now, you're working hard. But if you're doing work and the more you do it, the more excited you get. If you're doing work and you start getting more energy as you get into the work, if your brain feels tired when you're done, but at the same time you feel excited about getting back to it because you're excited about the possibilities that are there, if you're looking at the challenges, but they don't threaten you, they just feel solvable with the right kind of approach, if as you're doing the work, you can see the results, you can picture what those results are going to be like, and those results get you excited, then you're doing the right hard work. And what builders do is we choose our hard. Hey, it's Robyn here. Real quick, I just want to interrupt this episode for just a second because if you are enjoying what you're hearing, then would you mind sharing this episode with somebody else? So all you need to do is just go to your phone, if you're listening to it on your phone or your podcast player, and then click the three dots next to this episode, and it'll give you the option to share the episode. Now, if you do that, three things are going to happen. First, the person that you shared with is going to think you're a hero, especially if they're struggling with what we're talking about right now. They're going to love you. Secondly, you're going to feel good because you're going to get the word out about buildership and start building this buildership nation. And third, you will get my eternal gratitude because I really want to get this out to the world and you'd be helping me out. You'd be doing me a huge favor. So please share this episode with someone right now who's dealing with this same issue, someone you think would really benefit. And now back to the show. I'm going to tell you something, and I debated about whether or not I was going to say this because, it can turn some people off. People who don't have that buildership mindset, this is going to trigger them. So I'm just going to take a risk because it's just us, right? It's just two builders talking to each other right now. Let's forget about everybody else. Let's crowd everybody else out. And let's just you and I talk for a second from the perspective of builders. I see a lot of people working hard. And it's not going to make a bit of difference. And there's this ethos out there that, people brag, I never leave. I'm always the first one there and the last person to leave. And they do all of this stuff. And when you're a builder, you actually spend less time at work. I've told you before how, as an assistant principal, I started figuring some things out and then I started leaving early and I started getting side eyes. Not leaving early. I just stopped working 12-hour days, right? Like I actually went home, but my work was done. It wasn't like going home and leaving a whole bunch of undone work. I would finish work and I'd just be sitting there waiting for my principal and the other APs to leave before I felt like I had permission to leave. And finally, I just started leaving. And the first time I left, my principal looked at me and gave me a little side eye. And then second time, he's like, you're leaving early. And I was like, not really. I mean, the buses are back. The kids are done. My work is done. I'm going to go home. And then finally he called me in. He said, I've noticed you've been leaving early late. I said, well, what do you mean early? Because I stay until the buses get back. And he said, but I mean, you're leaving early. I said, but my work's done. And it wasn't just done, it was good because I had put systems in place to help me get through the work so I could focus on the things that were really hard. My master schedule was the first one in, and it was pristine. My teacher evaluations I was the first one to have all of my teacher evaluations completed, and they were good. They were valuable evaluations because instead of just doing what everybody else was doing, I put systems in place and chose my hard. Right? You could stay up late and work on evaluations, or you could think about what's really important with the evaluation, put systems in place to help you handle everything else so that you could spend time giving people meaningful feedback that actually grows their practice. Sure, you could spend months trying to make the master schedule work, or you could put systems in place that design a master schedule that's rooted in your vision, mission, and core values and makes the master schedule actually serve your kids and your teachers. You sure could, spend weeks agonizing over all of your disciplinary referrals, or you could put a system in place that reduces the number of referrals that come to your office and make sure that when students do come to your office for referrals, your interactions with those students prevent those students from ever coming up and showing up in your office again. Everything that you think, people tell me all the time, well, I can't do that right now because I have to do this. And I'm like, yeah, everybody has to do that. But builders put systems in place that handle that work so that that's not the hard that they're working on. Instead, they're working on the hard that actually matters. And by doing that, by working on the hard that actually matters, they actually reduce the amount of hard for the stuff that doesn't matter. I'm a big systems person, and the more that I invest in systems, the more that I can spend time focusing on the right hard. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're saying, yeah, I believe in that. I just don't have time to have the systems. Well, we have them in Buildership University. Part of what we do is once you get your vision together and we know what you're focused on, we help you put systems in place so that instead of spending all of your time on the wrong hard, working hard, you can spend your time doing the hard work that matters and seeing the results that come from that. Now, in a couple of weeks, Buildership University is going to be open again. And if you are ready to work on the right hard, if you're ready to choose the right hard, and so you don't spend another year working really hard and not seeing any results, or seeing so little results that you start to question, why did I work so hard? If you're ready to do the right hard stuff, but to have the real victories that come with it, then you need to start getting ready, right? So let me talk a little bit. Do you mind if I do that? I don't normally do that, but if you want to get ready, here's the thing. A lot of people invest in Buildership University by using purchase orders. And so there, if you go to buildershipuniversity.com, we have on that site already a purchase order kind of walkthrough to show you how to get the purchase orders. We have a justification letter. If you already know that you want to join Buildership University in this next intake, then go ahead and start getting your purchase order done right now, because it's really frustrating for people. We open up the intake. It's only open for a week, and they're just hustling, trying to get their purchase orders. And you don't want to be doing that and starting school and doing everything else at the same time. So if you already know that you want to join Buildership University, go to buildershipuniversity.com, get your purchase order started right now so that when we open up, you're ready to go. Okay, that's done with the commercial. Now, I want to challenge you. Take a look at the work you're doing right now as you prepare for the next school year. Are you working hard, or are you doing the hard work? They're both hard. One leads to frustration and burnout and cynicism. The other one, doing the right hard work, leads to satisfaction and energy and passion and, most important, results. So you have a choice. You can choose your hard. You can continue to do the same thing you do every single year with the same results. Burnout, tired. Yeah, you worked real hard, but what do you have to show for it? Or you can choose the right hard so that you can see incredible results this year, and you can make this year so much better because you chose the right hard, like a builder. I'll talk to you next time. Hey, if you're ready to get started being a builder right away, then I want to invite you to join us at Buildership University. It's our exclusive online community for builders just like you, where you'll be able to get the exact training that you need to turn your school into a success story right now with the people and resources you already have. Inside, you'll find our best online courses, live trainings with me, tons of resources, templates, and exemplars, and monthly live office hours with me, where you can ask me anything and get my help on whatever challenge you're facing right now. If you're tired of hitting obstacle after obstacle and you're sick of tiny little incremental gains each year, if you're ready to make a dramatic difference in your school right now, then you need to join Buildership University. Just go to buildershipuniversity.com and get started writing your school success story today. Hey, this is Robyn, and thanks for listening to the show. Now, if you really enjoyed the content, would you do me a favor and share it with somebody else? All you need to do is pull out your phone, click on the little 3 dots next to the show, and you'll see an option there to share the show. Click that and send it to somebody else who could really benefit from what you learned here today. Not only are you going to look like a rock star, but you're going to be helping out somebody else who really could use this information. Plus, I will be so grateful. So just go ahead right now, click on those 3 dots and share the show. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.